Welcome to Old Spice College Lacrosse on ESPN. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in early April here in Baltimore, Maryland. It is homecoming at Johns Hopkins, and the Blue Jays are hosting the Rutgers Scarlet Knights here from Homewood Field. Big Ten matchup here today. Second game in conference play for both teams, both off to the 1-0 start. And we'll see what happens here this afternoon. Good to have you with us. Mike Corey, Quint Kesnick. All right, Quint, let's get right into it. Where can this game be won by both teams here today?
A big game for Rutgers. I think it starts with their goaltender, Max Edelman. He's in grad school right now at Rutgers. His career started in Middletown, Maryland. That's about an hour west of here, and he's been great this season. 62% saves, but what's more important in my eyes, he leads D1 in saves per game at 16. The left-hander, he's a little unorthodox, wide stance. He's really athletic between the pipes, and he's been strong, especially last week against Ohio State. Hopkins, their recent fortune has hinged on strong face-off play from Kyle Prouty. Sophomore Fogo, 72% in his last 4 games. He's improving with each game. He's showing great poise, composure, and patience. He's got an analytical mind, and Coach Dave Patramala told us this week that Kyle continues to improve.
Johns Hopkins 5-4 on the season. Rutgers at 6-4. Opening face-off, you mentioned Prouty, and you've got Connor Harriman going at it for Rutgers. And the call going against Hopkins, so it'll be Rutgers that starts on offense for the first time today. Well, what do you think of this Scarlet Knights team here at Quinn? A team that's won a lot of games over the last couple of years. Have they started to really improve?
Well, last week was a big step forward. They're 6-4 on the year, 1-0 in the Big Ten, beating Ohio State last week. Ohio State's no longer unbeaten. This is a team that's been an inch away from making the NCAA playoffs. One more win each year. They have a chance today to take a big step forward in the Big Ten standings. The loser of this game, in my eyes, Mike, is in a bad spot.
First shot of the game and a save. Ryan Darby on the offering from Adam Charlambides, a sophomore attackman for Rutgers.
Kieran Mullins, 4 in black, and Charlambides, 8 in black. They're 2 elite players.
Darby on the season, 50% save percentage. Able to hang on to that one. It's Blue Jays possession.
Yeah, so job 1 for Hopkins. Limit Kieran Mullins. Find Adam Charlambides, the talented lefty Canadian shooter. And then deal with some athletic middies, some big guys. Owen Mead, 6'3". Casey Rose, 6'1". Joe Peterson, 6'3".
This is Connor DeSimone that brings it over for Hopkins. Well, what do you think in terms of the size? Is it pretty evenly matched here?
No.
What do you got?
Rutgers is the bigger team, especially at the midfield. You know, where Hopkins has struggled this season is midfield offense. The ability to beat a man and score a goal from the midfield, or beat a man and draw a double team. You're going to see a defense from Rutgers today that is going to be really slow to double team and help. Okay, Hopkins is going to have to win some matchups individually and score unassisted goals.
You talked about Edelman at the start. 62% save percentage, is set second in Division I. Here's a shot that goes off the side of the net by Alex Concannon and backed up by Joey Epstein.
Rutgers now coached defensively by Danny Kachi, former longtime defensive coordinator at Towson.
And talked to Kachi before the game. Still lives here in Timonium, Maryland. Not that far away as the shot goes in for Johns Hopkins. Cole Williams, and the scoring is started by the Blue Jays today.
This goal highlights what I was just saying. Cole Williams is covered by a short stick defensive midfielder. Okay, that's disrespect in the highest degree. Add to the fact that there's no double team, or when it comes, it's too late. That's exactly what Johns Hopkins is going to have to do to win this game today. Beat their man on the perimeter and score unassisted goals. Williams had a big day last year against Rutgers. He's off to a strong start.
Yeah, and how about important for a guy like him to get off to that good start, like you said, now with 10 goals on the season. That only helps his confidence in a game like this here today.
Yeah, his numbers are dramatically down this season. He's been in a shooting slump. Last year he shot 27%. Now it's down to 17%, plus his turnovers have gone through the roof. Cole needs confidence.
Yeah, that defense, though, like you said, that'll improve your confidence. Now Hopkins off the face-off. Win! Count it! What a shot. Evan Zinn, the freshman. 2-0 Blue Jays.
Jays are ready out of the locker room. Prouty, draw control to himself. Pressure ground ball and then eyes up. Zinn is a speedster freshman. He bags his 4th goal of the year. He had 2 against Virginia. He's a talented winger. He's playing some defensive midfield. It's just a matter of days before he's running first midfield here.
Talked to Coach Petramala before the game today on the field, and he said, look out for Evan Zinn, who is really starting to improve. 6'3", 200 pounds, loves his size, and is going to get a ton of experience as this year goes on.
Zinn, the number 7 recruit, according to Inside Lacrosse magazine. Connecticut. He's got that righty shot on the run. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. That's why he didn't play as much last year. He's intense. Likes Coach Petramala and that intensity he brings.
Yep.
And talk about a guy who can run. He can fly. He's a speed merchant.
Solid start here for Hopkins. 2 goals in 13 seconds after Rutgers had the opening possession off the face-off violation, and now all of a sudden it's been all Blue Jays, a chance to go up 3. Williams, after taking a big hit there, was Matt Stagnita, tried to set the pick. Now Epstein. Always got to respect his play. Just a freshman, 23 goals on the season now for the Blue Jays.
This fast start, good for 2 reasons. Number 1, you get to this goalie, Max Edelman, early. Give him no confidence. Number 2, Rutgers is coming off that big Ohio State win on the road last week. Perhaps they're hit with a little bit of a hangover here as they get off to a slow start.
Flag is down. Penalty coming up on Rutgers, and the shot is wide to the mark by Brett Baskin. But the Blue Jays are going on the man up.
So you need that goal if you're Baskin. Catch, half a cradle, and overhand buried to the low portions of the goal. The Jays had a feeding frenzy last year at Rutgers in a 1-goal win. They fed the crease all day long, mostly from invert situations. It was layup city in what was a terrific game last year at night.
All right, so the Blue Jays on the man up here for 30 seconds. 3.5 minutes gone by, first quarter. Epstein, cross field, what a pass, what a shot! Kyle Marr, look out, 3-0.
Brian Breck's got to be thinking timeout right now. You going to stop the bleeding or you let it go here, Coach? You make the call because your team's flat coming off the bus. Hopkins starts this extra man in a circle formation. They cut the crease and the defense condenses. Watch all the black jerseys, how tight they'll get. Well, that leaves Marr open on the perimeter, and he can snipe with the best of them. He's 1 goal away from 100 in his career.
Unbelievable. Marr from Epstein. Welcome, everyone, to Baltimore, Maryland. Those just watching the Duke victory over Notre Dame. We are here at Homewood Field, home of the Blue Jays, who are off to the fast start. Just 4 minutes in on their homecoming. They've got goals by Cole Williams, Evan Zinn, and just by Kyle Marr. As we are approaching the 10-minute mark of the first quarter, Mike Corey, Quint Kesnick, what about this start here for the Blue Jays?
Best 5 minutes of lacrosse they've played all season in a game that both teams desperately need, because only 4 teams in the Big Ten qualify for their postseason tournament. The loser of this game puts themselves in a difficult position.
Joe Peterson controls for Rutgers, got it knocked out of his stick. And a whistle, and the hold is called on Johns Hopkins.
Cole Williams scored unassisted to get things started. Zinn from Prouty in transition, and then Marr on the extra man.
Yeah, it's been a tough start here for Rutgers, to say the least. Blue Jays have capitalized. Rutgers at 6-4 in the season. Johns Hopkins at 5-4. We talked about how important this is here in the Big Ten. It's the second conference game. Both teams are 1-0, but with only 5, they're all very, very important.
Nice job by Foley holding his own on the corner against Kieran Mullins. 4 and 8 are the guys you got to cover. 4 and 8, 8 and 4. Mullins and Chirlambides.
Mullins has it right now. Comes off the pick. Working his way to the middle. Nothing there.
Everybody else is kind of window dressing. They're set up by the great left-handed shooting of Chirlambides to the feeding of Mullins.
And he was trying to get that ball back.
Wow.
Another push call.
That was a dive in the highest magnitude. Are you kidding me? He launched himself forward. I guess it's a seller's market here today because he bought that one.
Yeah, beautiful day here on this Saturday in early April. College lacrosse really starting to kick it into high gear here now. Homecoming.
Yeah, a lot of energy on campus.
Yep.
A lot of energy on campus. The women's game earlier, Northwestern beat Johns Hopkins, but there's been people around this field during early warm-ups. The players come out of the locker room. There's a certain buzz. You can smell the barbecues coming from the quads. Big day.
Doubleheader action for you today.
Just getting going.
Yeah. Here's Chirlambides, who you talked about. Now up top. McCoy, midfielder.
Look, the other guys are nice players. Casey Rose, Coyne, and Gallagher.
Sprock gets free, fires, save, Ryan Darby.
Sprock, certainly capable. The freshman from Dallas, Texas. Number 35 midi in the country. He's had a decent year so far. 7 goals, 2 assists. But if you limit Mullins, 4 in black, and Chirlambides, 8 in black, I don't think Rutgers can beat you.
You're basically just saying you challenge somebody else.
That's exactly
make it
right.
Happen today. Let's see if that is the case. See how those two perform. Right now, getting free for the shot, and not much on that one from Casey Rose. Easy save for Darby, his 3rd already in this first quarter.
Good defense by Daniel Jones, 23 in white, who comes up a little gimpy. He's limping down the field, but he got to the body and the hands of Rose during the release portion of that shot. Made the goaltender Ryan Darby's job nice and easy. Always good to get that first touch as a goalie, like a hockey goalie. You know, handle the puck, get the puck, see what it feels like, see what it looks like.
Well, Darby's been outstanding. Just a sophomore out of Plano, Texas, coming up here and really providing a spark for the Blue Jays this season. And they have a couple more years to go, gaining a ton of great experience. This is Connor DeSimone. Up top for Williams, who scored the first goal of the game today for the Blue Jays. Little strong for Concannon. And this is going the other way.
Rutgers defense structurally, they look a lot like Towson. Well, that's because Danny Kachi is their defensive coordinator. He came over from Towson after a great run there. So they're going to be slow to double team. That is slow to slide. Johns Hopkins is going to have to win some matchups on the perimeter, generate some unassisted goals. Beat your man, score a goal. Keep it simple.
And you talked about Kachi, graduated Towson 2003, assistant there for 7 years.
He also mentioned to me in pregame, Mike, about how other than Kyle Marr, Hopkins doesn't have many true outside shooters. So you'll see Rutgers defensive splits, okay, and their yardage that they pick up off ball to be very condensed. They'll try to crowd the middle.
We're going to try to pack it in here today.
Exactly.
Yep. Epstein off the pick.
Two-man invert by Hopkins. That is, they're attacking with 2 behind the goal. Had a lot of success that way attacking Rutgers last year. But a moving pick.
Yeah, the moving pick on Stagnita. He's the one that took the run of it going down. Here's a shot, another save, Darby. Wow, the offering from Kieran Mullins. 4 saves for Darby. What you talked about, there's the guy. There's number 4, Mullins.
Sneak attack by Mullins. He tried to beat the righty Darby near side high. Rutgers attacks an early offense. Dave Petramala telling us we've got to defend the phases well. Early offense, sub-game, and then the settled situations.
So far, so good here. 6 minutes to go, first quarter. Just under 6. Hopkins 3. Rutgers nothing. Williams, Zinn, and Marr with 3 goals here for the Blue Jays. Here's Marr. Epstein. Bouncer. And on the save, Edelman got a piece of it. That is his first save of the day. And clear here by Rutgers.
Nice rebound control by Marin, 27 in black. Good wheels on the clear.
4 of the 5 Rutgers shots on goal here so far in the first. Saves from Darby.
Rutgers offense this year, the best I've seen from them is a wing dodge, usually a low wing dodge at the goal line extended that they kick through X or swing around up top for some action on the weak side. When they kick it behind off that wing dodge, they do a great job inside of some crisscross action.
Well, Mullins is at X right now behind the net. This is Peterson. Trying to get it to Mullins, and that's the second time that Rutgers has thrown it away, trying to go back to X.
Brian Breck telling us this week, Mike, how are we going to react with some success? And they had it last week in Ohio Stadium. They played their best game of the year. They're not sharp right now. Their bench is flat. They need an emotional spark, whether it's a big save, a hit, a transition goal. They need a juice play.
Baskin. Keogh's behind the net. Williams sets a screen. Baskin still has it. Williams and the defenders hung up. Keogh, shot, save, Edelman. Well, you talked about it for Rutgers, Quint. I mean, over the last 3 seasons, they're 30 and 15, but haven't made it to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, these seniors now trying to win a record amount of games for a senior class. That would be 37. 9 NCAA appearances, 0 Final Fours, but they haven't been to the playoffs in a long, long time. Back to 2004, I believe.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Can you imagine that? Your senior class is the most wins ever, and you haven't had a chance to go to the postseason. This is huge here today. Kyle Marr, transition, launching, and Edelman a piece of it on the save. Now with 3 saves so far. And quickly the other way come the Scarlet Knights. Robert Moran, and now in front, there it is, Mullins, and he scores it. No goal. They're waving it off. He's in the crease. No goal, and it's still 3-0 Blue Jays. Checking to make sure he had it was Matt Hubler at that time for Johns Hopkins, and 5 early turnovers already for Rutgers.
Left side of your screen, you make the call. Blue lines. I think the official missed that. I did not see toes on the line. I'd have to see that again.
And he's behind the play, too, kind of coming in there and saying that he landed in the crease. So
it was not a dive shot, right, Mike. We know he wasn't projecting himself towards the goal mouth.
And that's a tough one for Rutgers, but now here they come in transition. Kyle Pless, the defenseman, gives it up. The liner is saved by Darby. And that shot that time from Garrett Michaeli. Darby already 5 saves in this first quarter. And this is picked up by Rutgers' Cole Daninger.
Good stop. Not a good outlet pass. You can't throw a lollipop towards the sub box, even if the guy's wide open, because by the time the ball gets there, someone can come flying out of the substitution box and change that picture dramatically. If you're going to throw a ball the box side, it's got to be a frozen rope.
Good call there. David Sprock now has it for Rutgers, the freshman. Just over a minute to go in this first quarter. But a 22-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock here.
Nice closeout there by Reinson, 87. Jared, the sophomore, 6'1", left-hander, uses his stick really well.
Foley on defense here, and Charlotte Beatty's bouncer. No, that's off the mark and heading toward the sideline. Clock here winding down first quarter, 19 on the shot clock, 43.4 to go first quarter of action. A couple of shots, but none have hit the cage, so the shot clock still on its way down inside of 8. Shot again, missing the mark by Mullins. Only 5 left to shoot, as Ryan Gallagher will put it back in play.
Nice D by this Hopkins group. It's a veteran group. They're giving up 12 goals a game, and you kind of wonder why. All the parts come back from last year except a new goalie. They've underperformed thus far this year, but Coach Petro's got them ready to go today.
Now, you're right. Defense has really stepped it up here. That's forcing 6 turnovers now for Rutgers in this first quarter alone. A chance to put one through before the end of the first. Marr got his stick checked as he tried to find the cutter, Evan Zinn. And the first quarter comes to an end. So all Johns Hopkins here to start on homecoming on this beautiful Saturday in Baltimore, Maryland. Cole Williams got the scoring started for them. Evan Zinn put one through. Kyle Marr. And it's 3-0 Blue Jays as we head to the second right after this. How about the start for the Blue Jays here today, Quint?
The best 15 minutes they've played all season. Cole Williams unassisted on a wing dodge. Rutgers going to be slow to double team today. And then in transition, Evan Zinn from Kyle Prouty, talented freshman from Connecticut, his 4th goal of the season. Kyle Marr on extra man from Epstein. The Scarlet Knights got a little too condensed, and Marr with some zone busting.
He's Quint Kesnick. I'm Mike Corey. Good to have you with us here. It's homecoming. You've been a part of this over the years for a long time now. What's it like?
There's a lot of energy here. There's a lot of juice. You know, you come out for warm-ups in the crowds here. There's a lot of knowledgeable lacrosse fans. Again, Hopkins has homecoming in the spring for lacrosse. I don't think there's another school in the country that puts that kind of emphasis on their lacrosse program, and the team has delivered to the standard thus far in a season, quite honestly, Mike, where they've played below the standard too often.
Right. No, I know you said that, and you feel like here they've turned the tables a little bit. Their offense off to a good start, better defense, forcing 6 Rutgers turnovers in that first quarter. That's what you want to see.
This is a defense with some veteran guys. Owen Colwell, multi-starter, Jack Rapine, Patrick Foley, Robert Kuhn.
Hopkins looks rearing to put one on cage here as Williams has it behind the net, swings it. Long bouncer. Well, almost. Robert Kuhn, who you just talked about.
How about that passing, though?
Yeah.
I mean, that was really crisp passing. And it's April now, okay? There's no excuses. We're fully underway in terms of D1 college lacrosse. You got to be your best right now and headed towards a peak effort in May.
This is the month. That's for sure. No doubt about it. And what about with the Big Ten? I mean, you mentioned how crucial it is because it's only 5 games.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, you have a 6-team league and 4 teams make the tournament. That's the Big Ten tournament. The loser of this game is going to be in a tough spot in that regard. Remember, you got Maryland and Penn State up at the top, and then 3 teams, in my eyes, vying for 2 spots. Ohio State, Rutgers, Johns Hopkins.
Right now it's Penn State and these 2 teams that are 1-0 to start. Blue Jays with Connor DeSimone for Concannon. Shot clock's inside 20 seconds. Concannon the shot with a save here from Max Edelman. And it's bounced out to the sideline where Williams will put it back in, and a fresh 80 on the shot clock.
That's one Edelman wants back at 62%. This is shot right at his waist. You'd love to be able to catch that. It's not a great shot. It's not going to go in if it's got to go through your belly button. But the reset, the rebound now gives Hopkins a fresh 80.
Williams trying to back his way in. And Kyle Pless, who's defending. Forey Smith.
Who can beat their man and score a goal? Who can draw a double team?
Epstein right around. And Edelman on the save, and there's Kyle Marr to put it back in. What a season this guy's had, right? Bethesda, Maryland, 23 goals, 33 points to lead the team. 3 goals, 2 assists last weekend in that Big Ten win versus Michigan.
He's the real deal.
First time out of the afternoon. Hopkins, 3. Rutgers, nothing. Back to Baltimore in a moment.
College Lacrosse is brought to you by Old Spice. Men have skin too, you know. And Cigna. Together, all the way.
That's inside the Cordish Lacrosse Center in one of the end zones here at Homewood Field in Baltimore, Maryland. Johns Hopkins, Dave Petramala, and the Blue Jays against Rutgers as you're watching the Big Ten on ESPN. Second quarter just underway. Mike Corey and former Blue Jays goalkeeper Quint Kesnick here. As you look at the standings, you were talking about it. So there it is. Penn State, Rutgers, and Johns Hopkins all at 1-0 to start.
4 teams advanced to the Big Ten League Tournament, which is being held at Rutgers this year. And in my eyes, I think Penn State and Maryland are 1-2 in this league, leaving 2 spots for Rutgers, Johns Hopkins, and Ohio State. Somebody's not making the league tournament, which means somebody's not making the NCAA tournament as well. That's why this game is really important. Winner stays alive. Losers in a tough spot.
Blue Jays started 3 of 5 shooting. They're 0 for their last 6 since. As Williams dashes around the back of the net. Double team comes down the slide, and now he kicks it from Mark.
Hopkins really lacks midfield dodgers. Okay, that's been a storyline for them this season. They're small.
Williams save Edelman.
They're out of position. Many of them are converted attackmen. Cole Williams is probably their best dodger on the field right now, and it alarms me that Rutgers is willing to have a short stick on him.
You said it right from the start, and he went right around him and scored the game's first goal.
You know, Epstein and Cole Williams are dodgers 1 and 2. Lamar's an outside shooter. Forey Smith can't dodge. He couldn't dodge Rusta Lynn right now.
Talking about our stat keeper up here in the booth. Here's a shot, and it's Alex Concannon who fires from the cannon for the goal, and it's 4-0 Blue Jays.
Hopkins had great success last year attacking Rutgers from behind the net. Concannon's had a strong season. 3 goals against Cuse last year. Just a plant and rip from range. Not sure that Edelman could see it. You look at his reaction, he was acting like he was screened. He moved to the right, the ball moved to the left. That's not a good equation if you're a goalie.
Quinn, he's like, I'm not worried about dodging. I hear you. How about this? 4-0 Blue Jays.
Hey, that works.
Right.
And you're a Hopkins fan? Great. Those are saves that Max Edelman has typically made this season.
That's a good point. Yes, number 2 in the nation, by the way, his save percentage. But now the Blue Jays winning the faceoff here. 3-2 in the faceoffs. Favor Johns Hopkins. 3 minutes gone by second quarter. 4-0.
That can be the difference maker, I think. Because, you know, this Hopkins defense, if they're given some rest and they don't have to play that much, I think they can limit Rutgers. If Kyle Prouty does his job, and so far, so good for him, I think Hopkins is going to be tough to beat here, and they're going to grind out a win.
Well, they improved in the first couple of games. You saw in the stat in terms of face-off percentage, over 20% better. Shot redirected on its way in, high into the air, and recovered by Patrick Foley for Johns Hopkins over to Brett Baskin.
That's a little play. Colwell, 16 in white, takes the man. Foley takes the ball. It's a staple of every Pee Wee practice in America, man ball.
See on the top left, Cornell Syracuse this Tuesday, 6 o'clock Eastern on the U. And look at this. It's Joey Epstein getting into the act now. 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers for the Blue Jays.
Pre-game talking to the Rutgers defensive staff. Really cognizant of Epstein as a right-handed dodger. And they shade him and give him that side. Look, fake to his right, come back left. Plus slips. The goaltender locks up. And I don't think I've ever seen a freshman like Joey Epstein, whose severe angle shooting has been so on point with a sliver of an angle repeatedly this year, he's found net. It's really an amazing ability.
I'm totally with you. There wasn't much there. He assisted on the previous 2 goals, then comes around for that one. So a phenomenal start here for Johns Hopkins. Rutgers hasn't taken a shot here in the second quarter, Quinn. We played over 4 minutes, and you just talked about this, the face-off. Yep, another win here by Prouty.
I hated Rutgers' defensive body language after that goal was scored. And if I were coaching the Scarlet Knights, I would have called a timeout a long time ago. Because this team, how many goal advantage are you going to give Johns Hopkins before your team actually starts playing like they're capable of, with an emotional level and a physical level that they're capable of? Because this is not the same Rutgers team that beat Ohio State in Columbus last week.
No, and that was a 14-6 win over the number 4 team in the country on the road. You talk about a statement there. It's completely the opposite here today. All right, now here's Mullins. Or check it. Mullins is behind the net, calling for it. It's now David Sprock. Now it's Mullins. Feeding in front. Oh. Again, you get a chance at it. Tommy Coyne for Rutgers, and instead it's Daniel Jones that has it now. 6 saves for Darby in cage for the Blue Jays.
One and done. Good ground ball off the rebound. A rushed shot.
Transition. Up top. Wow, what a firing away is Robert Kuhn. Well off, but there's Williams.
This Hopkins team's a little better in transition than I think people realize. They've got 9 goals from non-offensive personnel. Colwell's got a bunch. Robert Kuhn has scored. If I were the coaching staff of Hopkins, I'd be pushing it a little more off of made stops and made saves. I think this team can run.
I mean, if you get somebody back down there to back it up, so you get another opportunity. If you don't, absolutely try to get something going in transition. Here's Epstein, who's got the goal and 2 assists. Feeds it, fired away. Forey Smith, count that one, and now that's 6 different players with the 6 goals today.
Where's the timeout, Rutgers? Off-ball defense here. It's not up to par. Epstein dodging. Forey Smith starts in the crease and peels to space. Defensive recovery is late. Edelman has no answers. Jay's in total control right now. The Scarlet Knights are bleeding badly, and this thing's getting out of control.
There's a look at Forey Smith, and how about Epstein? He has been a part of the last 4 straight Hopkins goals, 3 assists, 1 goal by him, 6-0 Blue Jays. And you're right, Q, this is starting to get out of hand here early second quarter. I mean, when you've got that many different people getting involved in the offensive end, now if you're Rutgers, right, you're thinking, what am I going to do? Now what do we do?
You have your timeouts. Many coaches use them to save a possession. Right now, I believe emotionally, psychologically, I would use one to try to grab some face masks in a huddle and let people understand.
Well, Brian Brecht is on the sidelines right now, really kind of going after a couple of his guys individually, talking to them, and I should say talking in a loose way, as it is frustrating what's happened here so far for them in this first half. Fired away, there it is, first goal. Count it, finally, and it's Michael Sanguinetti that gets it to go through.
That's just what the doctor ordered. A sophomore, left-handed, top side, he singes the net. You'll see the double team is late. He's got his man hung up. There's no help in sight. Rutgers finally on the board.
Well, finally, some of the Rutgers fans that have come down here to watch this one, something to cheer about. The first goal of the day by Michael Sanguinetti. And it took a while to get that one on the board there, Q.
22 minutes and 6 seconds without a goal. It's been a Rutgers team, maybe reading the press clippings after their big win last week against Ohio State, but Hopkins has shown up and they're ready to go. Brian Brecht has got some major damage control to do in the huddle. What are we doing defensively? What kind of effort are we giving on face-off ground balls? We got to start winning some one-on-one matchups on both sides of the field. We got to try harder on loose balls. We got to check harder. Okay, these are two evenly matched teams. There's no reason that Johns Hopkins should be up 6-0. And there's Coach.
Oh, we had saw him going up and down the sideline prior to that last goal, talking to a few of his guys individually. You know, now 8 years here, and we said it over the last 3. It's been solid. I mean, they had 30 wins, 6 this year, but trying to get to the NCAA tournament. That's the goal. They have not been there since 2004.
9-6 last year, losing in the Big Ten semis to Maryland. Again, 3 years in a row, they've been a bubble team in the NCAA tournament on the outer bubble. They're 1 win away. They need this game badly. They don't have a resume that stands on its own as an at-large selection yet.
Well, and here's the thing, too. This year, Quint, right, they have played some pretty tough teams. They played 5 ranked teams this season. Now, albeit they're 1-4 against the ranked teams, but that's what you got to do, right? You got to have that. If you're going to win that many games, you better get a chance to get to the tournament, even if you don't win your league.
Well, at this point, they've ruled out being an at-large selection. Okay, wins over Lafayette, St. John's, Fairfield, Princeton, Hofstra, and Ohio State. It's not going to be enough.
Saw the graphic there of the 5 that they did play.
Losses to Army, Loyola, Lehigh, and Syracuse.
There's Edelman again. Cage for Rutgers on the outlet. Garrett Michaeli gets down low. The shot, the save from Darby. Nice job there. Zachary Franskowiak on the shot.
Rutgers shooting has not been accurate at all. 1 of 11. I mean, another shot that hits Darby in the midsection.
Yeah, not much placement on that one. We've got 6.5 to go here, second quarter. 6-1 Blue Jays, and back on the offensive end again. Stagnita. Now for Kyle Marr. Got Epstein out there along with Keogh, Williams, and Brett Baskin. Williams. The pick from Keogh. Took a shot. Williams gives it up. Epstein again. Keogh gets the look and the save from Edelman. Same kind of thing, though, right at him, right at the midsection.
Edelman's a tricky cat because you watch tape on Max as he makes his 8th save, and he rarely looks the same twice. I wouldn't call him a textbook goalie by any means. He's got a super wide base. He drops his hand sometimes. He plays on an aggressive arc, and I hate to say it, he guesses a lot of shots, but he gets it right. He's 62%, so you can't change his style. Quite a story coming from Middletown, Maryland, which is west of Frederick. Went to JUCO, went to Essex Community College for 2 years, and now he's made himself one of the best in D1.
And all of a sudden, Rutgers now finally getting a little bit of offense going here. Tommy Coyne, 8th of the season, back-to-back. It's a 6-2 game.
Wing dodge draws 2. That's where the trouble starts because Hopkins has to rotate, and they're a little late. Okay, you get that defense rotating, and players have to change responsibilities. They're on the carousel, and Hopkins doesn't move fast enough, sets up that mid-range shot. Now, in a film session, Mike, on Monday, that's one where Dave Petramala might say to that defender who doubled, why are we doubling there?
Right.
He didn't have a beat. You didn't have to go. That's the hardest thing to teach defensively. when you're an off ball and you're the help man, when do I go? When do I stay? Should I go now? Should I stay?
Well, and under what you were saying earlier about the top two guys there in Mullins and Charlambides, almost, if it's not them.
Don't create offense. Exactly. Don't create offense by double teaming guys who don't deserve to be doubled. One team who does a great job in that regard is Georgetown. Their defense, adhering to their double team rules. Nobody does it better than Kevin Warren in Georgetown.
Well, but that's the thing. You've got to work on that man-to-man defense, right? You've got to be good on the one-on-one matchups.
It comes down to your rules and definitions. When do I slide? When do I stay?
Falling down is Marr. Got hit. No call. Save Edelman.
Edelman made that look pretty easy. That was unbelievable. Great save.
Rutgers in transition, trying to make it 3 in a row here. Gallagher behind the net. Works his way in front. And now they've kind of settled in a little bit here. So it looks doom and gloom, right? It's 6-0. They've scored 2 in a row. They've got the ball back on offense. Still 4 minutes to play first half. They somehow get this down to like a 2-goal game at halftime. You got to feel really good about yourselves.
Yeah, got to find Kieran Mullins.
He's got it. Look out, the cutter, and that's Charlambides, and he had a wide open shot of the net. He sailed it over the top.
You need that one. You need that one. 36% shooter, got his look. See a little crisscross on the inside. The near man cuts the far post. Charlambides was on the opposite side of the field. He comes ball side, and he knows it. That's a shot that young man usually buries. He's an amazing player. He's gone through incredible adversity in terms of 2 ACLs to get back into the lineup. He's a star of the past, done well so far, but this kid's got a big-time future as a pro someday.
3:45 to go, first half. 6-2 Johns Hopkins here in Baltimore at Homewood Field on this Saturday afternoon. Homecoming. Had a chance to catch up with some of the players yesterday. Dave Petramala over inside the Cordish Lacrosse Center to our right. Talked about what this is like here in this homecoming weekend with all the fans and the alumni back in town. What is it like? What's it all about? Here's Coach Dave Petramala.
Homecoming this weekend. What a privilege and an honor for us to be a part of that. You walk around campus, you look around, you can kind of feel the excitement and the buzz. But really, this is an important time in lacrosse because it's the time where you need to start playing your best lacrosse. As you head into April and get into May, as a coach, you want your team to start playing its best lacrosse, so it's important that we start to do that.
And he said, there's a lot more people back here this weekend, of course, Quinn, but it's not that much different than really another regular week around here, right? With everybody that, will comment and text him and be involved, with this program. You've been involved in it as a former alumni.
But I tell you, there is something special about homecoming when you come out. They're going to honor the national championship team from 1959 and 1969 at halftime. I'm sure those guys have been around the building this morning. You walk through campus from the dorms to get here. The buds are coming out on the trees, the grass is turning green, and there's just a sense that doesn't exist at a lot of other schools, the importance of lacrosse on this campus. Okay, it's homecoming for lacrosse. Nobody else has that.
Perfect day here, too. I know you start off the season, and it takes you a couple hours when you go home to thaw out, in those January and February games, and
this is the time of year in practice that you go from full sweats to maybe your coach cuts you a break and says, guys, just keep the sweat bottoms on, or vice versa. I usually went full sweats to Memorial Day personally.
Okay. All right, Rutgers back on offense now. Let's see what happens. Casey Rose.
Chip away before halftime.
Yeah. Need at least one more. Gallagher. Without giving up another, obviously. Behind the net, Mullins. Charlambides, and that went off the post. Mullins racing after it. That should reset the shot clock. Yep, up to the 80 seconds here now for Rutgers with 3:02 to go first half.
It's one of those situations where he cuts, he's open. By the time he gets the ball, he's run out of angle.
Right. Sprock now.
Johns Hopkins doing a great job holding up their matchups one-on-one.
Rose gets it back. Charlene Beatties over to Gallagher.
Just doing a good job. Surprised Rutgers hasn't gone into more two-man games, more picks.
Well, they try to set one here from Sprock as Mullins works his way around, but again, good defense. I'm not going to say he was in the crease when he set that, David Sprock, so that's a bad turnover right there with 2:33 to go, and that's 8 now in this first half.
Those are coach killers. Brian Breck's got a great staff right now. Eric Saramet, their offensive coordinator, coming over after 7 years as the head coach at Air Force. We talked about Danny Kachi earlier. It's a really good group of coaches.
Jimmy Ryan, the volunteer coach at Ithaca a couple years ago. Breck's in his 8th season after spending 7 as the head coach at Siena.
Saints. Okay, now if you're Johns Hopkins, clock and score here. We're not in a rush. We operate, we attack. But we're in no rush.
Williams. Finding Baskin, and behind the net here, Epstein. Feed the cutter, and a shot, the save from Edelman, and that was Kuhn that time. He's upset with himself, thought he had it. And Rutgers, a long pass on the clear, and here they come. Trailer. In front, easy one there. That is Charlene Beatties, and the good fake in the 3rd goal of the day for the Scarlet Knights.
This is an amazing flurry that at the end of the game, we'll go back, it's a 2-goal swing. Johns Hopkins is playing hangman with Rutgers. They're playing 5-on-5. They break a man towards the box. Instead of subbing, you see Kuhn come right down the middle of the field. That's an incredible stop by Max Edelman. I mean, a dream save. It converts to a fast break the other way. Charlene Beatties says, I missed earlier, I'm not missing again. A 2-goal swing right in front of our eyes.
Now you called it, and it started with that save, which was unreal. 31 goals now for him this season. From Georgetown, Ontario, went to the Hill Academy. And Charlene Beatties listed as a sophomore because he's got a couple more years to go, but when it's all said and done, he's going to have 7 years total at Rutgers with all the injuries and everything that he's went through. More on his story a little later. We've got just over a minute to go, and it's a Hopkins 6-3 lead after they were leading 6-0. Can almost hold for the final shot here of this first half, but not quite. What's a Hopkins report card here from you, from your perspective, after the way they started and then what the situation is now?
For the most part, this is one of the better halves they've played of defense, barring, let's say, the middle of the game against Michigan, where they held the Wolverines scoreless and went on a 10-goal run. So the defense seems to have been improved. Still looking for some dodgers, guys who can score on assists or get the defense in motion.
Williams, double team coming down. Almost a takeaway. Players out of position, coming through, fired away is Epstein. That's money for the Blue Jays with 7 on the shot clock and just 15.7 to go first half.
That is execution. Team offense, Cole Williams. Pressing the high wing. Double team, drawn. Gets the ball out of his stick. One more by Forey Smith. One more by D. Simone. Epstein sneaks right-handed, improves his angles. And that kid doesn't miss from a severe angle, but it all starts with Cole Williams and his ability to deal with the double.
Well, yeah, but what is the deal there? Why are they going? I know they went after him to try to knock it away. You got all your guys out of position there, and right at the end, is that a smart move?
We talked about it earlier. When to double team, Mike? Did they create offense for Hopkins by doubling that man? Was Cole Williams a threat to score a goal on that move? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I mean. But you gave him an offense after you tried to double him.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, he scored 1 goal earlier, like you said, because they had the short stick defensive midfielder on him. He went right by him. I don't know. There, you kind of got to go one-on-one, right? Far out from the cage. He gets by you, then you get the slide.
In my mind, I didn't think that Cole had earned the double team as quickly as it was sent.
And not in that stage, too.
But
scored.
Again, I'm not their defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I don't know. In certain situations, you'll say, hey, if We got to go to 14. We got to make him a passer. So you flush the ball from his stick. Your other guys have to rotate a little faster. You like to see this if you're Johns Hopkins. You got player-led huddles. You got some players stepping up. It can't always come from the coaches.
7-3 Hopkins with just 12.4 seconds to go. Coming up at the half, we've got Relaxin' with P. Kark, our own Paul Carcaterra, cutting some hair. Can't wait to see this one. It's with Blue Jays head coach Dave Petromal. We'll have stats and highlights of the first half here from Homewood, all coming up at the half.
I'm due a haircut from Kark. He cut mine when we did that Cornell-Yale game up in New Haven. But the good news for folks in Charm Cities, the roads are safe. Kark has turned in his keys to his SUV and instead is cutting people's hair.
Which he said
without a license.
Yeah, but he
doesn't charge.
But he's done it for a long time, he said, right? Since 5th grade.
Claims to be. Yeah, he's pretty good. Again, I didn't trust him, and I had enough time in New Haven when he cut mine that if he butchered it, I had time to go out and get it fixed.
Sure. Yeah, you want to have options.
Wonder if he could cut our stat man Russ Dillon's goatee.
Yeah. He's got an opportunity for that. We'll see.
Another timeout, off the timeout. I think your question here is, Rutgers, do you play a zone? You play a straight up man-to-man? This is Bob Benson talking things over with Dave Petromal.
Coming up tomorrow, fans, don't forget about this. 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific on ESPN and the app. The Women's National Championship game from Tampa. Special pregame gets it all started. 5 o'clock Eastern, Maria Taylor, Rebecca Lobo, Andy Landers. NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game presented by Capital One tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Now, earlier you had the women's lacrosse game here versus Northwestern that you called, Quinn.
Yeah, it was Sheehan Stanwyck Birch. I thought Hopkins played a pretty good first half. Northwestern draw controls. Too much Izzy Skane, Claire Duffy in the second half. It's a bunch of women's games on ESPNU in 2 weeks. We got 3 days in a row. This is what's coming up today. Some of the action on the men's side of things.
The game right before us, Duke in the win over Notre Dame at home, 14-8. Got a big one tonight. Ohio State, number 1 Penn State. Syracuse, no trouble with Hobart early on as well.
I believe in Penn State. As long as Grant Ament is healthy. He and Mac O'Keefe are a 1-2 punch like only Loyola has with Spencer and Lindley. But when you look at Penn State, they lead the country in all sorts of stats, okay? Assists per game, extra man percentage, points per game, scoring margin, scoring offense, shooting percentage. They've played a legit schedule. The only thing they lack is winning playoff experience, and that's a non-issue until we get to the month of May.
Nittany Lions 8-1 on the season, 1-0 in the Big Ten. First half winding down. Hopkins has it. Maybe a chance for another one right before the end. Williams, yes! He's got it! Unreal! 2.1 seconds remaining.
Cole Williams is playing a great game today. He draws the double, spins it. Keogh doesn't panic. He knows he's got to jam the ball inside, but what Cole Williams does so well there is he doesn't stand still. He senses that his man is ball watching. As a defender, you got to keep the head on a swivel. Rutgers D staring at the ball carrier. Williams cuts. He's played a great first half so far.
Well, I tell you what that does. That just undoes everything that Rutgers did over the last 7 minutes to score 3 goals in a row, because Hopkins just came back with 2 goals with under 15 seconds remaining in this first half. And it's now a 5-goal advantage. They led 6-0. They'll take a 5-goal lead into the locker room at halftime. Good recovery by the Blue Jays at the end of that first half.
They answered. When Sherlin Beatty's made it 6-3, it didn't look good.
6 of their 8 goals unassisted. Joey Epstein has got 2 goals and 3 assists, the freshman for the Blue Jays. Homecoming in Baltimore. Big game here today in the Big Ten. And it's the Blue Jays with a 5-goal lead at the half. We're back with more after this with Old Spice College Lacrosse on ESPN. We welcome you back to Old Spice College Lacrosse on ESPN from Baltimore, where the Blue Jays have an 8-3 lead as we get set for the start of the second half of this Big Ten matchup today on ESPN. Mike Corey and Quint Kesnick, great to have you with us here from Homewood Field. It is homecoming here today. Beautiful day on this Saturday in early April, and lacrosse is in full swing.
There's great energy here on campus for homecoming. The crowd's here. Thought Hopkins got off to a wonderful start. They held Rutgers scoreless for the first 22 minutes. The two stars on offense, Joey Epstein, is unbelievable in this game. And then Cole Williams has kind of snapped out of an early season slump. So far, so good for the Blue Jay faithful.
Yeah, Epstein was involved in 5 straight goals. He's had 2 goals and 3 assists so far today.
You know, the freshman out of Landon comes in highly hyped as the #1 recruit in the country out of Landon, Washington, D.C. He's a worker. He's got all the tools. He verbaled to Hopkins as a 14-year-old, but each week we're just seeing production. I expect him to hit the freshman wall. It hasn't happened. He's hitting all his mid-range shots from severe angles. You know, there's a work ethic. Coach Petro told us this week. This is a guy who works. He puts in the extra hours before and after practice on those same shots, running full speed. And it's paid off on game day. He's got a hand in 5 of the Hopkins 8 goals.
Yes, pretty darn good so far today. And there's some of your numbers from this first half here with the Blue Jays on top by 5. Now, it shouldn't have been 5, okay?
No.
There was under 15 seconds to go in the second quarter, and John Simon scored 2 goals. What happened there?
Rutgers worked hard to make it 6-3, and then you let your guard down for 2 possessions. The next thing you know, it's 8-3. Okay, if I'm Rutgers, I got to increase the pace of this game, I think. You know, I think playing at this slow, long possession type pace is probably not going to work out well, given the fact that you're behind by 5 goals.
I feel you on that. I haven't really felt the energy from them so far yet in this game, like you're saying. You just gotta move a little bit
increase
faster.
the pace of this game.
Yep. And that ball knocked away. Daniel Jones, nice job on the cause turnover again, and Blue Jays in transition.
Casey Jones met another Jones by the name of Daniel.
Kuhn in front, scores it on the feed from Jack Rapine.
But Casey Jones is not known for his speed. He leans in. Daniel Jones holds his turf, dislodges the ball. I mentioned it earlier. I think this Hopkins team can run better than they realize. That's their 10th non-offensive personnel goal this season. Rapine, who had a gorgeous run out last week, does it again, this time finding Kuhn. His 4th goal this season. He's a quiet kid. He wears that number 19 jersey for Jeremy Huber. And Robert Kuhn continues to deliver as a senior.
Yes, as you said, a memory of a Hopkins player who passed away years ago. And how about Rapine as well with the 2 assists also this season. 7 different goal scorers today with the 9 that have been put up on the board. And after all that, the faceoff is won by Prouty. Has some space in front of him. Prouty shoots, and that's just off. And Williams is back there. They had all daylight. He said, why not? Let's just go right to the cage.
So every time Rutgers looks like they're going to get back into this game, they make a mistake.
Yeah, those 3 goals, and here's the penalty call.
This is just a late and high cross-check. And now the pressure is on the shoulders of Max Edelman. Prouty delivers, gets rid of it. It's a clear foul. Hands are spread. It's up under the chin. Rutgers just has not been the same team this week as they were last week in that great win over Ohio State.
It was a 14-6 win on the road. Last time Blue Jays were on the extra man, they got a goal from Kyle Marr from Epstein. And now Marr fakes, but
moving
pick, yeah.
They set a seal on the far side. It's Kincannon. They're giving Marr some options there. It's a seal and kind of a pop. He catches, but it was moving. Good call by the official.
Peter Buchanan, Adam Pietro Carlo, and Keith Runk are our officials here today in Baltimore. Hopkins with 20 seconds left on the man up, but it's Rutgers with the ball.
Mullins, Kieran Mullins, that is, 4 in black. Adam Sherlambides, 8 in black.
Yeah, your hands are up. Where have they been? Well,
putting out an APB here in Charm City.
Yeah, nothing from Mullins today. Sherlambides has got a goal and an assist. Now they're back to full strength.
Mullins is top 10 in the country in points per game, isn't he?
Yeah. 45 points. Leads Rutgers in that department, number 4, as you said. Let's see where he's at.
Last year they had Jules Henningberg, a terrific player. I'll tell you, watching tape of that game from last year, that kid was unbelievable.
Now here's Mullins behind the net. Feeds the cutter. The shot to score. There it is. Mullins on the assist for Joe Peterson, who puts it through.
Gorgeous triangular offense. I call it a triangle because there's 3 keys here. Sanguinetti leaning in, draws the double team right there. Kick it to X. Dissect the defense as they're in motion. Well done by 3 different players. A double team, a feed, and a finish. Good start. Let's see if Rutgers now can parlay a good play into another good play.
Well, yeah, they did it earlier, but then the end of the first half came. So Peterson with his 2nd goal of the season from Mullins, and give Mullins a ton of credit on that pass, too. You have to thread that through traffic there right in front of the cage. And it was excellent placement. They've had 4 different goal scorers today with their 4 goals that they've put on the board. See if they get this ball back, though. It's kicked along by Foley, who comes up with it.
Good call, Mike. That was a subtle little play there. Made the difference. The ball was underneath him to where he couldn't scoop it.
You can't underestimate the importance of another possession. You know, you stop, like you said, you want Rutgers trying to go on a little bit of a run. You know? If Hopkins can put one on the board and stop that in a hurry. Hopkins scored the first 6 goals of this game. Then 3 by Rutgers, 3 by Hopkins. Then the one we just saw from Rutgers. Edelman on the save that time from the Alex Concannon shot. 10 saves now for Edelman. Working it around. Here we go.
Nice.
Rutgers, yes, on the cut. That time was Gallagher. And so Ryan Gallagher scores to make it a 4-goal game.
As our friends up in New Jersey who call these Rutgers games online would say, bada bing, bada boom, bada bang.
Well, here it is, Quinn.
Here's the bada bing, bada boom, bada bang. My friends, I love your calls. Keep it going. Love listening to your highlights.
Well, and those will feature Kieran Mullins on 2 straight assists, and Ryan Gallagher with the goal here now. How about at the face-off? Prouty working against Assessa that time. It's 11-5 now in favor of the Blue Jays winning the face-offs today.
Back-to-back excellent offensive possessions for Rutgers. They're starting to look like themselves.
Yep.
They torched Ohio State last week, as you said. 14 goals, really efficient. Had a lot of wing dodges going with that crisscross inside action they like.
Highest ranked road win in program history. That says a ton. Rutgers' ultimate goal, though, here to get to the NCAA tournament. They have not been 15 years. Rutgers has scored the last 3 times they've shot the ball. They started 2 of 14 today. Epstein right in front, looking for Williams just over the top. And Williams got hit. I'm going to say he was in the crease, but he got pushed, so he's going to stay with Hopkins, and that's going to reset the shot clock as well. What about Hopkins offensively here? Up to this point here in this 3rd quarter.
Joey Epstein's been the catalyst.
Yep. 2 and 3. There he is. Bounce back out to Williams. And he tried to go down low to Brett Baskin. That is now 8 turnovers by the Blue Jays today. Let's see if we get the second time today where Rutgers can get 3 in a row and cut it down to a 3-goal game.
Love to see this team with a high wing, really strong dodge that draws a double.
Mullins.
That's not the one.
No, that's a good call too.
Rapine with some good hustle on the far sideline.
Yeah, good call by the official. Rapine closest.
That doesn't get statted as a ground ball for Rapine, but it's an earned possession. It's a nice play by 44 and White, who, judging by what I've seen on tape, is playing his best lacrosse right now. His last 2 weeks, his games have been noticeably better than early in the year.
I agreed. He had the assist just earlier on the play to Robert Kuhn. But you're right, and that's some of those plays that you're going to watch in the film room and say, hey, this is what is going to make us a championship team, right?
That's a bad turnover, that shot. It had no chance. It actually caught your teammate. Like, he's not going to shoot this. Oh, my God, he just shot it. And I'm getting beat to the end line.
Yeah, but I mean, the play by Rapine to be able to do that.
Rapine's paying attention. He's hustling. He's not assuming.
Epstein shot off the cage, and now it's Rutgers ball here with 8:44 to play. And Brian Breck not happy. Turnover. Hopkins counters Williams, and they capitalize. Hat trick for Cole Williams today. And it's 10-5 Blue Jays.
Hard to believe that Cole Williams only has 12 goals this season, because if you just took this game and watched it, you'd say, man, this guy should have 3, 4, 5 per game, and he's played that way today. Pump and go. Hitch and go. Brecht steaming. That offsides foul comes back to cost him a goal. You can't win games on the road in the Big Ten when you're making mental mistakes.
And he knows how crucial that is. And you got to stay on a run. And it's been thwarted once again by the Blue Jays, 10-5.
Pole facing off for Rutgers.
Knocked out of the stick. Ground ball picked up. Rutgers has it. But, you know, like you said, Quinn, I think every time they start to make a little bit of a run and some moves here, all of a sudden Hopkins has an answer for it today.
And if you're the Jays, you just want to get in the hole, make this a half-field game. No Rutgers transition. Done a nice job overall, and Mullins has 2 points. Sherilyn Beatties has 1. Kept their stars down to a minimum.
Here's Peterson. Fires behind from Mullins. See if they get another cutter toward the cage. They do. There it is. There's the shot and the score for Ryan Gallagher. He just did it a moment ago. They do it again. So Gallagher's got 2 in a row. It's a 4-goal game now, halfway through the third.
Wing dodge through X. Gallagher times this to perfection. You see a little crisscross, outside in, then Gallagher fills the seam. Rutgers back in business, down 4. A staple to this Rutgers half-field offense is a wing dodge that gets funneled through X, and then they hit you with crisscross action. So the near man cuts through this way, the opposite man cuts through that way, puts a lot of pressure on that defender. Let this roll, and you'll see the result against Syracuse. They scored 3 times. So we're talking to Dave Petramala this week, and he says, yeah, we got to practice. Freeze it right here. You see the crisscross motion this way. The cutter right-handed. Hopkins will attempt to switch this, but the freshman Zinn is a little late. Watch it. They switch. He's a second late. Ball's in the back of the goal. You saw it once week against Syracuse. Look at the reaction. You see the freshman shaking his head. That's why freshmen are freshmen and they're not seniors, because you try to rep that stuff in practice, but until they see it at real speed on game day, it's really tough to rep.
Oh, that's a great call, Quinn. I mean, you were talking about that earlier. We were watching some of those replays, and I guess as that defender, right, you've got to recognize when your man starts to cut across the middle like that, look out because somebody's coming to replace him where he's at.
That's exactly right. And it puts you in a bind as an interior defender when you're in the help mode, so you take a step away from your offensive player. But knowing that when the ball is rotated, you're outflanked. He's got leverage on you to where he wants to go, so he's got a head start. And so that's why Hopkins switched that up. Zinn has just got to get top shoulder and be a little more aggressive there.
Well, and let's not forget about this, too. Your back is towards the ball. Yeah. It's behind the cage.
And that's
You're
why communication.
Yeah.
That's why communication is so important.
Now Hopkins on offense. And it's Kyle Marr who controls it. It's a 4-goal game. Rutgers has been as close as 3, 6-3. Johns Hopkins has won the last 5 face-offs. Let's see if they can take advantage of it here this time. Marr fighting through traffic, gets clocked, ball is loose, and Epstein somehow comes away with it. Or check it, that was Stagnita that time. Now it's Epstein. Clock, 12 seconds to shoot. Where are the cutters for the Blue Jays? There it is. Williams saved by Edelman. And that should reset the shot clock, and it does. So a fresh 80 now.
Oh, that's a killer if you're Rutgers, because you're playing such good defense. Playing such good defense.
It really did. Epstein. He's got Stagnita on the far side.
Talk about communication now. Communicate and talk when you're tired.
Epstein counted again. Hat trick today, goal scoring, and also on the assist line as well. 3 and 3 for him.
Joey likes his right hand. Talked about his severe angle shooting. This will be a right-handed release from a 3/4 arm that he just drives. I'm not quite sure why Edelman, the goalie's initial reaction is up. Don't love his balance either. And Epstein beats him to the punch 5-hole. He's shown a knack. I mean, he turns the corner there, Mike, and this year we've seen him. He is really tough to stop on the shots.
Well, he had Williams clearing out. He went one-on-one. You're absolutely right. I mean, they brought the slide over, too, just a little late and unable to stop him.
The ball is being released out of his stick quicker than goalies are used to. I think he's got a tight motion. I don't think he's telegraphing his shot in any way either. And he's mixed it up this season. Even today, this game today, he's taking some high shots from that spot, taking low shots.
That's what I was going to ask you. That was a low one. That was a tough one to stop. What's harder?
I don't know the scouting report on him. I would say he generally takes the smart shot. So if the window is to my off-stick high, he's going to go there. I might be able to bait him into taking something and then take it away. Like show him a little inside pipe and then take it away.
Really nice job, though, by Epstein today. 3 goals, 3 assists. Blue Jays back on offense. Under 5 to go in the third. Now they're back up 5. Williams, and look out. Wide open. It's Epstein, and he can do it from the outside as well. Unreal. What a shot.
Look at the alums. They're like, hey, this freshman guy, 32, is pretty good. Hopkins now has doubled up Rutgers, and they use a TO. They needed it a long time ago when the score was 6-0. Epstein from Cole Williams. Both have played terrific ball games. Watch Cole draw the double, skip it through the defense. Epstein able to catch that, crow hop, overhand, turn and rake.
Well, a lot of it's been done by Epstein this season as a freshman, but how about some of these numbers? Almost 50% of the goals have been scored by the underclassmen this season. When I talked to Coach Petramala about this before the game today, he said he is just so excited for the future. Now that group gets to another year. It's now sophomores and juniors, and all of a sudden, look out. These guys are going to be here for a few years to come.
Rutgers, the game plan was and your game plan when you play Johns Hopkins should be make the midfielders beat me. Okay, make guys named Jack Keogh, DeSimone, Concannon, Zinn, Baskin beat me. Okay, I'm going to do everything I can to stop Epstein as a Dodger, Cole Williams as a Dodger, Kyle Marr as a spot-up shooter. I'm going to take my chances that Concannon, DeSimone, Keogh, Baskin, Zinn, and Smith can't beat me off the Dodge. And for whatever reason, Rutgers just has not handled the defensive matchup.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of names.
Many thought they could.
There's a lot of names that you mentioned, though, right there. There's a lot of guys. And you have a goal today by Zinn. You have one from Concannon. You have one from Forey Smith.
Yeah, it's enough. it is enough. But in my eyes, Epstein and Cole Williams have been the two offensive stars. And from their success, from their ability to draw doubles, it's opened up for everybody else.
Right. If you're going to give them 3 goals each, not going to be a good day for you, because you're right, others are going to score. But if you can hold them down a little bit, try to make a Zinn, a Concannon, and a Smith score 2 or 3 is what your point is.
That's right.
Yeah, I got you.
Kyle Prouty continues to do excellent work facing off. We talked about his last 4 games being 72%. In this game, he's +9 right now, and Hopkins dominating the ground ball war.
24-11 in the ground balls, 14-5 to your point of the +9 in the faceoffs. Let's see if that improves here. 6 in a row have been won by 25 and white, Kyle Prouty. This is a real battle here on this one. Along with Connor Harriman, number 7 for Rutgers, and Prouty wins it again. Now it's loose and up into the air, and Rutgers has it.
Harriman hurt his knee early in the year. Missed 5 games, 7 in black. He had a big opening day, and he's battled his way back into the lineup. Prouty, to me, seems like one of the better athletes at the face-off position. He can run. He was a really good offensive midfielder in high school, scoring 71 goals as a senior. Didn't get many reps last year. He only took 64 face-offs last year. So he's still learning.
Yeah, you mentioned Harriman back from that opener, 22 of 25. And this save from Darby, there's a flag down, however. And has taken a hit was Joe Peterson.
White, 1-1, push, 30 seconds. White, 11, push, 30.
After the shot, or maybe simultaneous to the shot. Oh, tie up around the neck.
Yep. Cal DePietro. Yeah, the first penalty, though, of the game here today for Johns Hopkins. And they may end up getting this one anyhow. And, nope, they do not. Peterson again.
87, Reinson. Air traffic control.
Peterson dumps it off, gets it back here. 6 seconds left in the man up. A gun from the outside, not there for Tommy Coyne. Jump Darby again in cage, and defensively it's Mullins now as he gets it back, and that one is off, and this one goes to the Blue Jays.
Darby's pumped up.
Yep.
And he's not the type of kid that gets pumped up. Let me tell you, he's about as unassuming as it gets. But he knows how big that is. Man down is a time for you to shine when you're a goalie. Seize the moment. You know you're going to see a quality shot. He makes the save, probably not happy with the rebound he gave up, but then the second shot, he beats the man to the end line. Great job by Ryan Darby. Once again, sophomore, getting better and better, makes his 10th stop of the game. Love the emotion from him.
Quinn, I talked to Darby yesterday, right? I said, hey, when did you start playing goal? He said it was back in 3rd grade. He said the goalie didn't show up. And he was the only one that had the proper protection equipment, if you will, on. So they said, okay, you're playing goal.
It's a good start.
And he's been there ever since, yep. And he's had an outstanding career. He said he played a little bit of the attack, but mostly he's been a goalkeeper. And here he is at Johns Hopkins now, just a sophomore, 5'8", 175 out of Plano, Texas.
getting better and better.
This, yes, exactly.
He's always been solid, but his communication is getting better with his defenders, his body language, his aura, his presence. I think about Hopkins goalie. I was talking to Saul Kuhlman, who's a member of the championship teams in 05 and 07, and we were just talking about Hopkins goalies from his era and the personality that a Brian Carcaterra, Paul's brother, took to the field. Like, you knew when you came to a game, like, where he was. Like, he demanded your eye. A Jonathan Marcus.
Well, that one he's unable to stop. And on the shot that time for Rutgers was Owen Mead with his first goal today. But still a 5-goal Hopkins advantage.
Meads look good. His twin sisters play on Michigan's women's team. Stutter step, the lefty out of Sparta, New Jersey, gets to the middle and finds a low corner. Double teams a fraction late.
Nine goals on the season. Under 2 minutes to go now in the third. It's +10 at the face-off here in favor of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that needs to change if Rutgers is going to make a comeback.
And they call anything here? No, they don't. Prouty got knocked down. Let's see. Yeah, now they finally do. It's Blue Jays possession. I would say so.
Harriman
tripped up.
The shot clock works in the favor of Rutgers in a game like this with a 5-goal separation.
Yep.
Still late third. Okay. In days of old, Hopkins would kill 2 minutes. They put the timer on, or even before that, they'd kill 5 minutes. Now there's hope that you're going to get enough possessions as the trailing team in this situation.
But as a defensive team, yeah, you got to do that. You got to make the
face-offs
and you got to get the ball.
That's exactly right. Face-offs and stops.
We just saw it though before. We're near the end of a shot clock. Hopkins, they made the save, but it got bounced out to them, and they got another fresh 80. So then you can almost run 2.5 minutes off the clock. Flag's going to come down here and a penalty on the Blue Jays. And a cross check, so that's going to help Rutgers out here in a moment. Let's see if they can put something through though. The free play, if you will.
Take a chance now offensively, okay?
This is the time to do it. Peterson. Charles Meades. Double team. Yep, Connor DeSimone.
Pass down, pick down.
White, number 3, cross check, 1 minute. White, number 3, cross check, 1 minute. We'll reset it.
It's a pass down. You'll see the pick down, and watch 3. Not there, but right there.
Oh, yeah. Right up to the head area, too, of Gallagher. Gonna get that one every time. Rutgers 0 for 1 today on the extra man. Mullins is down low. Cheryl Meades cross field. Peterson not there. Mullins backs it up.
It's okay defense. Hopkins will reset. They'll go back to their initial positions. Look at their structure and their spacing. Sticks should be up in passing lanes. Communicating on every pass right now if you're a defender. And Rutgers will hold to possess into the fourth quarter.
Going to have just under 30 seconds left on a man up when we start the fourth. It is a 5-goal lead for the Blue Jays, trying to go to 2-0 in the Big Ten. And they lead it 12-7 at the end of 3. Homecoming today in Baltimore, Maryland. 12-7. Johns Hopkins back with the fourth from Homewood Field right after this. Welcome back to Old Spice College Lacrosse on ESPN this Saturday in early April. Mike Corey and national champion Quint Kesnick with you today. As you're watching the Big Ten on ESPN, and here's a look at some of the other scores from around the country. Anything standing out to you here in this one? How about that North Carolina-Virginia game? That was a close one.
Yeah, that game came down late. Carolina actually had an extra man. Virginia holds on. Honestly, most impressive there to me is Loyola putting up 15 on Lehigh. When coming into that game, I thought with Connor Gaffney and Lehigh, they may have a significant face-off advantage.
Puts them in the driver's seat to host the Patriot League.
Yeah.
Right across town.
9 automatic qualifiers for the NCAA tournament this year. So that's 9 league champs. As a fan, that's where your focus should be. Rooting for your team to get in that conference tournament and then secure the bid.
We've seen this cut a couple of times today by Charlotte Beatties from Mullins from an X, and I think he's about 1 for 4 now at this point.
Rutgers has not shot the ball well.
Another one from the outside off the mark, that time by Mark Shakti.
Back to even strength.
Mullins checked by Foley.
Foley's played well.
Yep. In front, and Gallagher. That's shot clock.
The lefty Colwell, 16. Good job sticking the numbers, tying that ball up.
I love the turnovers, but how about one on the other side of the Blue Jays? Picked off right in midair. And a shot is through, yes. Charlotte Beatties got it. Heck of a defensive play. And the goal for Rutgers to make it a 4-goal game.
This is the type of play that can turn a game upside down. A lazy, feet planted, don't step into your pass, picked off, taken the other way for a free goal. Okay, there's a coupon that goes with that goal. Now your job as a defender, as a goalie, as a midfielder, is to hit the reset button and don't give them anything easy. Okay, you built the cushion so you can give them one easy, but wow, it's scary when you start giving away coupons and freebies. Buy one, get one free.
Prouty, right off the face-off. Look out. Fires and scores! Kyle Prouty gets it right back for the Blue Jays.
Fogos can be the ultimate run stoppers. If you do your research on Prouty, you'd see back in 2017 as a high school senior, he scored 71 goals. So maybe an alert to Hopkins opponents. I wouldn't hold on him. You know, I know Joey Epstein can rip it, but he's the guy that deserves a defender in his face. He's not your typical Fogo. He actually can catch and throw and shoot. That, my friends, is the definition of stopping a run and preventing a bad situation from spiraling out of control.
No doubt. 5 seconds it took him to win that face-off and then go right to the cage for the goal. Second of the season. You talk about his ability at the face-off X. With the wins at over 65% now in the season, half the time he's picking up the ground ball, though, too. That's the mark of the good face-off man right there as Mullins gets it down low, and it's inside for the score by Gallagher, and a flag comes in as well. So from point-blank range, Gallagher responds. A lot of action here with just a minute and a half gone by in the fourth quarter.
Another sloppy clearing pass.
Goal is good.
Horrible turnover.
Play is over. Dead ball number 16. Unnecessary roughness. Late hit. 1 minute. No face-off. Black ball.
No face-off. Rutgers ball. It's only a 4-goal game. Just a botched 10-yard clearing pass. Everybody's got such big pockets. Nobody can throw an accurate 15-yard pass. Too much whip, my friends. Too big a bag. Discussing that with Larry Quinn, the greatest goalie to ever play here at Johns Hopkins. he was bemoaning the fact that a lot of players can't throw accurate short passes because their pockets are so big. And now the door is open. I mean, this door is open for Rutgers.
Oh, it is. Coach Petromalo is certainly going to use those last couple sequences there on the clear in the film room this week, that's for sure. Mullins has 4 assists. Colwell was called for the penalty and the unnecessary roughness. He's out, man up for another 30-plus seconds. They could cut it down to 3, which is the closest they've been today. Peterson, yes, he's got it. It is 13-10 now, with still 12:50 to play in this game.
Game on. Text your friends, get on Twitter. This one's going down to the final 10 minutes. Rutgers won't go away. Hopkins keeps making mistakes and opening the door. Mullins picks up the assist. Peterson squeezes that one through. Darby's there. He gets a piece of this. He gets a chunk. And you see him turn in disbelief. Those hurt more than you know.
Look at what's happening here. 5 assists by Mullins. And that was an extra man goal after they had got the other one. Then the flag came down. They didn't have to face off, and that was huge. 3 goals in the last 1 minute and 8 seconds.
Yes. Bunch of giveaways, right?
Yep.
2 giveaways and a penalty.
Prouty wins the faceoff. Yeah, so besides his goal that he squeezed in there, 4 of the last 5 have been scored by Rutgers. That's trying to find somebody.
That's the part of Prouty's game that I like the most. Escapability. There's a lot of Fogos who can't do that. There's a lot of Fogos who are turnover machines. When I say Fogos, I mean face off, get off.
Right.
Was that an acronym?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. You got it.
It's not the fear of getting old. That's actually an ad campaign. I was walking in New York City.
Fear of getting old?
Fogo. I look at this wall and I see this sign.
Yeah.
Do you have Fogo?
Wow.
It was a big-time drug company used that as an ad campaign.
Well, in the lacrosse field, it means what we said there, and you're right. I think you have to have additional skills, right?
Yes.
As a face-off guy. I mean, how much value is in that for a team as opposed to literally just facing off? So good job by Prouty. But now it's Rutgers that gets it back.
It's a great ground ball by Ethan Rawl, freshman from Islip. A lot at stake here. A lot at stake here these last 11 minutes.
We mentioned our outstanding stat man, Russ Lynn here, always with us in Baltimore for sure, and he's flashing a note, which I think is pretty impressive. 15 different players have scored today. 7 by Rutgers and 8 by Johns Hopkins. That's pretty amazing with our 23 total goals.
In a game that the stakes are really extending the season. You know, I think the loser's in a tough spot in terms of getting into the NCAA tournament and the Big Ten tournament. Winner takes a giant step forward.
Mullins, good job to recover that ball. Daniel Jones all over him. Mullins gets away, and there's a whistle and a timeout taken by Rutgers. And we will step aside as well. 10:47 to go in the contest. Rutgers within 3, starting to get closer. We'll be back.
Old Spice College Lacrosse is brought to you by Old Spice. Men have skin too, you know. And Cigna. Together, all the way.
Traditions here annually at homecoming at Johns Hopkins, recognizing the past champions. This was at halftime. 2 national championship winning teams some years past. How about the 1959 and 1969 national champions? 50 and 60 years since those teams won it all.
That 1959 team had Bill Morrill, Mike's dad, Kelso's son, and the great Mickey Webster, the late Mickey Webster. 1-2 combination. The 69 team had Joe Cowan. They're being honored today. Mickey Webster was such a smart lacrosse mind.
That's really good stuff right there.
Yeah,
think about that long ago.
His son John played at Boys Latin and then North Carolina and a star in his own right.
Look out. Another one is scored here by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and Tommy Coyne.
Momentum has shifted. Hopkins is holding on, and if not for a couple freebie goals, this game would be tied. But here comes Rutgers, folks. This game's up to Kyle Prouty, Hopkins Fogo, and goalie Ryan Darby, because suddenly Hopkins' defense is reverting to their prior form. An inside pick. Kuhn can't fight through the traffic. Kachi and company celebrate. And there's tons of time right now. I mean, it's 10 minutes and a 2-goal margin. That's nothing. Hopkins led 9-3. Since then, it's really been Rutgers.
Prouty, well, he went right in earlier, 5 seconds after a face-off win to score. This time he thinks, okay, let's settle this down a little bit. I think it's a smart decision. Rutgers has been on a tear. They've scored 3 in a row and 5 of the last 6.
If you're Rutgers, how do you deal with Prouty? You'd love to make it a 3-on-3 scrum, but he's getting it out there he's getting the ball out into space to himself so fast. Now if you're the Blue Jays, Cole Williams, Joey Epstein, 14 or 32. Go-to guys.
14's got it behind the net. Mars sets a pick. Williams, finds Epstein. There it is. You called it, Quint. And it's from Williams to Epstein, and the Blue Jays get one back.
Hashtag we want more. These fans will chant out the number of goals and end it with a we want more. And when it comes to Joey Epstein, they're going to get more. He's only a freshman. Cole Williams has played his best game of the season, draws the double team. Epstein cuts the back post. You see the defense is ball watching. Edelman has to go pipe to pipe. He's got no chance there. And that combination has been dominant.
That's the new name here that's going to be talked about for a while, as you said, Joey Epstein. In a year for a longest time where there hasn't been a Stanwyck, on the Johns Hopkins team.
The only Stanwyck was up in the booth today.
Right.
And actually the assistant coach of the women's team, Steele.
But it's Epstein that is making a name for himself here as a freshman with the goal, his 5th. And he's also got 3 assists as well. That was a big one, as Rutgers had cut it to 2. And look out, there's a lot of hitting going on there. He's like, where's the
hustle? That is great hustle by Rutgers.
And they're going to get a goal out of it. It's Gallagher who strikes it from the outside. Back to a 2-goal game.
The tempo of this game has just escalated. Are you serious? First quarter was slow. What I loved about this goal, Mike, Rutgers sends 3 bodies to the ball. They just get more guys there. This is off the ground ball play. Now Hopkins is slow to recover. Look at him walking around. Are they tired? Are they not communicating? Not sure, but Rutgers wins the restart. Turn and rake. Game on again. It's a 2-goal margin.
Quint, really, you called it again. This was your key at the start of the second half about Rutgers. You needed them to play faster, more aggressive, and they're doing exactly that.
Yeah. In my eyes, their midfield is slightly more athletic than Hopkins.
I mean, that was it. Give credit where it's due. We thought they were a little slow. They didn't seem to have
flood the ground balls.
Yeah.
Send the guys at the ground balls. Those are your energy plays. Playing offense and defense, it's not really your energy plays.
Prouty, look out. Dumps it off. Fired away is Kyle Marr. Can't stop that.
Entertaining stuff. We talked about Kyle Prouty in the open. 72% face-off winning percentage. The escape was perfection to space. And Hoplax 13 rips one top shelf.
How smart has Kyle Prouty been, right? Let's go back to this here. He wins a face-off. 5 seconds later, goes in and scores. Does it again, brings it back out. They end up getting a Cole Williams to Joey Epstein goal. Then he wins it again, goes down, makes a pass, and Kyle Marr shoots and scores.
Rutgers is either facing off a pole or 2 poles on the wing. Okay, their leverage, their field balance from their wings has been beyond poor. Okay, you know you're losing 80% of the draws today.
Right, it's got to be wing
You got to
play.
flank.
Yeah.
It's got to be wing play. You have to take away the fast break.
Yep.
Your posture on the wings is critical there, and they're not working as a trio.
I'm with you. You got to go after him. Make it a scrum.
Face-off guy, make it a scrum, but somebody's cutting off the fast break.
Yep. Who's coming at him afterward if he's going to win all these cleanly, right?
But give him credit, though. He's winning the clamp. He's in utter control enough to rake the ball to space, to look around, to survey the field.
And then after all that, there's got to be a ton of credit given to Rutgers overall because they have lost the faceoffs 21-8, and they're within 3 goals here still in this game. Tough crossfield pass recovered by Charlotte Beatty somehow. Trying to get by the defender. Knocked down from behind Owen Colwell, and Blue Jays have it. Over to Darby, and now begins the clear.
Well, you look down at the Rutgers bench, and you know how important that last turnover was.
And Coach Betramala trying to fire up the troops on the sideline. Foley missing that shot. The defenseman for the Blue Jays, and nobody there for the backup, so it's back to the Scarlet Knights. I want to give a congratulations out
Rutgers
to
is offsides.
Let's see. Yeah, they're all over it down there on the field.
They only have, look at this.
Staff is going berserk. No call. Instead, Rutgers on the offense. Chance to cut it to 2, and the entire Blue Jays staff irate. Spinning around on that shot was Sanguinetti.
Wing dodge through X. Mullins, 4 in black, has been the best settled offense that Rutgers has had.
Mullins has really been the key distributor in this one here, Quinn. You talk about the guys who have scored. Mullins has 6 assists. You got to get on number 4 more.
That's not going to happen. Hopkins gets called for a hold. Gallagher trying to go through the whole team. I find the shorty, okay, find the midfielder. It's either 9 or 23. Take him to the wing and go hard. Either top side or towards X.
It's really starting to get heated here now. It's just over 6 minutes to go. 3-goal game. Behind the cage, Mullins, where he's distributed a ton here today. Defender hung up. Sharon Beatty, he finds the space and scores somehow. Running out of the angle. Makes it a 2-goal game.
Get the ball behind, good things will happen. This is a wicked twister. Watch this finish. Adam played at the Hill Academy, grew up in Ontario. Look at him twist this, catches it left-handed. Watch him bring it all the way across his body. It was either that or go behind the back. Big goal. Get the ball to X, good things happen. His numbers, this kid's battled through 2 ACLs. I got a ton of respect for him. He's extremely gifted and talented. He's been fighting the good battle.
His first year at Rutgers was 2015. Then he was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2016. He tore his ACL in 2017, tore the other one in 2018, and now here we are in 2019. So he's a redshirt sophomore, and he should get 2 more years of eligibility, so that's going to be 7 total at Rutgers, and you're right, Quinn, he has certainly battled throughout his career. And he's one of the best. They need him. Now it's Gallagher. Works it behind the net. Mullins. 2-goal game, just over 5 minutes to go. Mullins. Can't get away. Great defense by Owen McManus for Johns Hopkins. Now look out. The shot off the mark to the right. That was by Owen Mead, who does have a goal today, and it's going to be Blue Jays possession.
It's a nice defensive possession. Give Foley credit, beelining the end line to run out that shot. But you mentioned Owen McManus, a guy who has not gotten much playing time. A trend I see with these Hopkins D middies, they keep running Jones and Hubler out there, 9 and 23.
Yeah.
Those guys, their legs are starting to become toast. You can't rely on 2 shorties in a year this long, this intense. You need 3 and 4 guys, and that's why the freshman 36 and White out of Friends School, which is right up the street. Nice job on that possession.
Yeah, to your point here, in a very crucial stage of the game, too, where they're giving them a run, so that's good to see. Here's Brett Baskin for Epstein. Feeds it up top, Williams. And we've got 4:20 remaining in this game. Hopkins by 2. Williams fires, and that's off the mark. Epstein's there for the backup. One to give a prior congratulations to Kyle, who scored his 100th career goal, and the latest goal scored by the Blue Jays.
We've got to give Coach Zim some congratulations also.
Yes.
UMBC Hall of Fame last night.
Former coach of the Blue Jays and the 23-year head coach at UMBC, inducted into the Hall right down the road. Shot clock down to 7. Blue Jays, Keogh. 3 to shoot. Keogh fires, save by Edelman. That is the 40th shot of the game today for Hopkins. We've got 15 goals, and we've got 3.5 to go with the Knights down by 2. 13 saves for Max Edelman at Cage.
Well, here comes the most important possession of the game. Right now.
Mead. Now remember, keep this in mind, Rutgers is out of timeouts as well. Mullins for Franz Kowiak.
They like this matchup.
On Baskin. Saguinetti.
Yeah, they got Baskin and Kincannon. 1 and 2 in White. 2 middies caught on the field. They'll go after 2 in White. Kincannon.
And it is Mead trying to work on him. He's got Sharon Beatties at the top. Instead, Mead takes it himself, misses.
Won't be surprised if Hopkins tries to sub here on this out of bounds.
There is 12 seconds on the shot clock. You called it. They did substitute. And they got Matt Hubler back in. But here's Mullins. Mullins right in front, gets hit. Ball is loose. No call. And it's Blue Jays possession working the other way.
Smash mouth double team. A defensive stand that may have just earned the win. Inside roll, here comes the double.
It was Foley and Robert Kuhn that time on the sandwich defensive play.
Now you see the differential, shot clock, game clock. You roll this ball into the corner, there's a minute to go in the game. Okay, so time is more important than score.
And they can run it down to a minute. Cornell-Syracuse, our next game up on Tuesday night, 6 o'clock here on the U. There's a big one up there. As we are into April and every game becomes even more crucial now. Hopkins trying to go to 2-0 in the Big Ten. Improve the 6-4. Williams. Shot clock 15. Up top, Baskin, Marr, another one. And the shot saved by Edelman on the shot that time from Keogh, but it's going to reset the shot clock
Now Rutgers has to chase.
That's the only time it hurts you, right? As a defender,
Fresh 80 is
you
a
make
ton of
play.
time.
Yep, but the offense gets it back.
And Rutgers is out of timeouts.
It satisfies
So
the
they got to
shot
chase.
clock.
They got to chase. They got to double, pull the goalie.
That's 14 saves, too, from Edelman. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough.
Coach Petromalo will stalk the refs here, and he calls timeout.
Making the plays when they've had to. 40.8 seconds remaining. And the Blue Jays with a 2-goal lead and possession of the ball. All right, let's take a look at who has skin in the game today, presented by Old Spice. Been talking about him all day.
Kyle Prouty, the sophomore from New Jersey. 21 face-off wins versus 8 losses. Okay, he's plus 13, but his handling of the pill has been sensational. He's got a goal. He's got at least 1 assist. We asked Coach Petromala about. I said, Coach, why? Well, you know, what the surge in Kyle's production? He said, well, he's young. He's only a sophomore, but he's poised, composed. He's patient. He's analytical. He's working at his craft. And what stands out to me today, Mike, is his ability as a lacrosse player.
Yeah, overall,
he looks like he could play a normal shift.
Right.
He's athletic. He's fast. He's got great skills. Like, that's what you want. A guy like T.D. Erlin, who plays for Yale, could probably run a shift. There's some guys who are draw men only, and they look out of place on a lacrosse field. Prouty does not.
No, he does not. 1 goal, 2 assists today. And as you said, just spectacular handling of the ball. You know, whether it was time to go in and score, time to bring it back out. Now you got a double team here on the corner as this ball gets started back in by Epstein. And another timeout taken by the Blue Jays.
Bob Benson to the right, the offensive coordinator. Dave Petromala, head coach. Looks like he could use another Kark haircut on the left. So Epstein's got the double in the corner. This is a tough spot for an offensive player. Defensively, you want to take a wide posture, force that man in between, and sandwich him.
It's tough, though, if you're Rutgers, you don't have any timeouts. You know,
you need 2 to tie, too,
yeah.
which is... But you play it out. You know, anything's possible.
Well, you said how important this game is, especially for a group that's trying to increase their status overall. And at 6-4, Rutgers, they play tough competition.
Everybody having fun at the crab cake luncheon. Well, not everybody having fun. The band is in rare form today, because I know for homecoming they get like alumni band members come back.
Well, they've
sounding just the depth.
It's there. And they've had
and new songs this year. Stuff, you know, I only thought they knew like 5 or 6 songs. The range.
15 opportunities at minimum after goals, and you always hear them strike it up here at Hopkins, and it's been a fun day for them. Flag is flying as Epstein. Oh, he gets crushed in front of the cage. Another flag. Every official's throwing their flag. And it's picked up by Connor DeSimone.
Now you run into victory if you're Hopkins.
Kyle Marr. "15 seconds to go. We'll see if they can just run this out. Blue Jays, they were challenged here late in this game, but they are up for it. And they're going to come away with a homecoming win. 15-13, the final over Rutgers here today at Homewood Field.
Be careful post-game. The league will look at this tape. Behave yourself, young men. Nice win by Coach Petromala. Thought Rutgers' slow start cost them today, Mike.
Yeah, it did. They were down by 6 early, 3 a couple of times. They made a comeback, but just not enough.
Too much Epstein and Cole Williams. Big win for Hopkins.
Joey Epstein.